Hello everyone, this is the second part of Unit 5, Mystery in the Old Museum. So let's start. So the first vocabulary we have in the second part is fossils. Look at the picture and the example. This fossil may be over 2 million years ago. So what's the meaning of fossils? Part of a bone of a plant or animal that has been preserved in rocks for a very long period. So this is fossils. So the second vocabulary that we have is impressive. Look at the picture. He is amazed, surprised. He is looking at something that he really likes. That was an impressive performance from such a young tennis player. So it means admirable, which means that something that I really like, I'm really amazed by it. It's very impressive, it's very amazing, you know? So impressive means admirable. So we have this word safari. Look at the picture. They are on a safari. So look at the example. For his vacation, he plans to go on safari in Kenya. So what does it mean? An organized journey to look at or sometimes hunt wild animals, especially in Africa. So it's a journey that you go to look at some wild animals, and it usually is in Africa. Then we have exhibit. Exhibit. Look at the picture. This is an exhibit. Let's go see the new dinosaur exhibit. Let's go see the new dinosaur exhibit, which means a collection of objects that is shown to the public in a museum. A collection of objects that is shown to the public in a museum. This is an exhibit. Then we have maintenance. Maintenance, look at the picture and the example. Old houses need a lot of maintenance. Old houses need a lot of maintenance. So we can recognize that maintenance means the work needed to keep a road, building, machine, etc. in good condition. So that we always keep on repairing or fixing anything in a road, a building, a machine to keep it in a good condition so that it keeps on working. Then we have the word allergies. Look at the picture and the example. The smell of perfume can be quite a problem for people with allergies. So, allergies means sensitivity. Allergies means sensitivity. You know, the people who have allergies, they tend to sneeze a lot. Their eyes would become full of tears and their nose could hurt them a bit. So, allergies mean sensitivity. And then we have the word blossoming. Blossoming. Look at the picture. This is blossoming. So what does blossoming mean? Flowering. Blossoming means flowering. The fruit tree started blossoming as the warm spring weather arrived. You know, in the spring, trees start to blossom, starts to flower. It would have many flowers. So blossoming means flowering. So let's continue the second part of the story, page 73. The last thing that we read in the first part was that Talitha found a maintenance worker searching for his to-do list, and she decided to help him search for it. And then she found a small piece of paper, and she asked him if it was the to-do list. It might be, he said. He looked at the paper and frowned. That's part of it. So we guessed right, the to-do list was torn and they only found a small piece of it. A woman in shorts and a safari hat came hurrying around the corner and into the corridor. So now we have the fourth character, a woman in shorts and a safari hat, and we need to underline safari. Who has been pulling the straw out of my saber-toothed tiger exhibit? So saber-toothed tiger is a type of tiger that is extinct. She said before jumping over the maintenance man. She landed lightly on the floor beside Talitha, then rounded another corner and disappeared. So she was asking who is pulling the straw out of my saber-toothed tiger exhibit, and she then disappeared. A man with curly red hair came out of an office holding a vase full of daffodils. Underline exhibit and underline daffodils. Someone has been pulling the petals off these flowers, he said. There are yellow petals all over my desk. So we have a fifth character. We have a man with curly red hair, and he was holding a vase full of daffodils, and he's saying that someone is pulling the petals off these flowers, and that he saw or found yellow petals all over his desk. So something is going on. There is something wrong that's happening, and things are disappearing, things are being torn. So let's see what will happen. Talitha walked toward the dinosaur room. There is something strange happening here, she thought. Dinosaur Hall was full of fossils, underlined fossils. Most impressive of all was the Tyrannosaurus rex skeleton, right in the middle of the room. So she was going to look at or see the big T Rex, and she found many fossils in the dinosaur hole, fossils of dinosaurs, but the most impressive, underline impressive, was the Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton. It was right in the middle of the room. Woo-wee, Big T, you are one mean-looking dinosaur, Talitha said. So she was impressed by how big the dinosaur is and how mean-looking it is. One large eye seemed to wink at her. Talitha stared at the menacing skeleton. Please underline menacing. What's going on here? She walked slowly around Big T. On the floor near the tail, she found two yellow daffodil petals. 3 steps from the daffodil petals was a long strand of straw, and lying near that was a scrap of paper that said "Close Wind." So what's happening here? She found bits and pieces of all the things that are disappearing in the museum. She found the daffodil petal, she found a straw, and she found a scrap of paper from the to-do list of the maintenance worker. As she read the paper, she felt a tug on her pocket. She turned in time to see her pink ribbon disappearing between Big T's sharp, curved teeth like a strand of cooked spaghetti. So what happened? She felt the tug and she turned to find her pink ribbon that was dangling from her pocket between the Big T's sharp, curved teeth. Is the Big T moving? I don't know. Let's see. Talitha put her hands on her hips. Wait a minute, she said. Dinosaur fossils do not eat ribbons. She ran upstairs to the second floor balcony where she could see eye to eye with the Big T. She lay on her stomach and stared straight into the dinosaur's huge jaws. So she was confused and she said that dinosaur fossils do not eat ribbons. So why is my ribbon in or between the Big T's sharp teeth? So she ran upstairs to the second floor so that she could be eye to eye with the Big T. And she laid on her stomach and stared straight into the dinosaur's huge jaws. Look at the picture. This is what she did. She went upstairs and she stared into the big jaws of the T-Rex. Then she started to laugh. She laughed so hard that it echoed through Dinosaur Hall. Mrs. Watson, the maintenance man, the man with the daffodils, and the woman in the safari hat all came running into the room. They must have heard her laugh, so they came to see what's going on. Talitha pointed toward Big T's mouth. A small brown sparrow, please underline it, hopping up and down inside the jaws, was tucking Talitha's pink ribbon and into a nest made of straw and bits of paper. Bright yellow daffodil petals could be seen in the nest as well, and in the center was a lacy white handkerchief. So what happened here? I think it's not a mystery anymore. Talitha found out what's happening. She found the sparrow is making a nest out of um, papers, out of straws, and she also found bright yellow daffodil petals and a handkerchief in the middle or in the center of the nest. So the sparrow is collecting these things to make a nest for itself. And this is why the things were disappearing. Big T has company, Talitha said. Everyone laughed except Mrs. Watson. She sneezed because of her allergies. So, this is what happened. Everyone laughed because now they know that the sparrow was the thief that is taking the things, taking the papers, taking the handkerchief, the straws, and the ribbon of Talitha to make a nest for itself in the jaw of T Rex. Everyone laughed, and Mrs. Watson, she sneezed again. So, this is the whole story. It's very fun and nice. And now we know the mystery in the museum. Now let's go through the characters and the setting again. In the first part, we had three characters. We had Talitha, we had Mrs. Watson, and the maintenance worker. In this part, we have the woman in the safari hat and the man with the daffodils. So now we have five characters in our story. What about the setting? It didn't change. The place is the museum, and the time, we don't have a specific time in the story. We had a problem in the story. The problem was that things were disappearing mysteriously in the museum. We didn't know what's going on. Things started to disappear, and it was a mystery. At the end of the story, we had a solution. Talitha found a sparrow which was building a nest inside Big T's jaw using all the things that have been missing. So Talitha found the thief. The sparrow was only collecting these things to build a nest inside Big T's jaw. So the mystery was not a mystery anymore. So this is the whole story. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really like the story, so I hope you enjoyed it as well. And see you later.